Today we're going to discuss integrity. First we're going to discuss just what integrity is, and then how, living with integrity shows other people that you're sure of yourself, and that how having integrity can boost your self-esteem. So just what is integrity? Integrity is the characteristic of doing what you know is right, being honest, and having strong moral principles. It's showing respect to yourself and to others, and doing things that are, consistent with your values and principles. Now, first we're going to talk a little bit about right and wrong. And in most societies, there are certain things that everyone agrees are right or wrong. Like it's wrong to kill someone, it's wrong to steal, things like that. And so societies have laws, and these laws are there to help protect their citizens and maintain order. And most people, for a lot of these laws, most people, regardless of their religious beliefs, or even if they're a non-religious person, would consider that there are certain things that are wrong, things like, murder. So these things are criminal, and then there are things that we have laws for that aren't really morally wrong, but they're more there in order to maintain kind of the order. So think about like traffic laws. If we didn't have any traffic laws, we'd have accidents and, it'd be chaos. So these type of laws are mostly there to keep, society orderly and safe. And then we have things that come into play when we talk about integrity that aren't crimes, but some people consider to be morally wrong. But other people don't consider them to be morally wrong. And this is where, it gets a little fuzzy. And so you kind of have to really kind of think about this. And so, we're never going to have a complete consensus. There are different religious groups in the world, and, they all take a little different view of some of these things, different interpretations. So integrity means that you follow the laws in the society that you live in, and you live according to your own personal beliefs, and you're consistent with this. So you may find that others do things that you may find to be immoral, or you may be on the other side of that you do things that you don't personally find to be immoral, but other people may accuse you of acting in an immoral way. And the important thing with this is that you show respect to that other person's beliefs, and hopefully in return they will show respect to your beliefs. And so, and the other thing is, at least here in the United States, we don't, one of our basic tenets is that we don't force our beliefs on someone else, our religious beliefs, that these are separate from the laws. So, if you want to be respected for the way you feel and be able to live according to your morals, you need to show that same respect to others. Now, a lot of times, at your age, you may not be sure about how you feel about some of these things. You just maybe weren't aware of them, hadn't had much exposure, really hadn't been thought about them, and you just don't have the life experiences, haven't met very many people, maybe who have a different opinion, a different lifestyle than what you've been brought up with, and so you're not really sure how you feel about these things. The other thing is, especially I think when you're young, you look at adults and you think, oh, they know how they feel about everything, and once they've made these decisions, they're going to stick with them. Well, that's not really true. A lot of people change their beliefs during their lifetime. For some reason, they become influenced to change their position on something. So this is something you continue to educate yourself and learn. But particularly as a young adult, as a teenager, you will find that there will be many people who try to influence you so that you believe the same as they do. Obviously, your parents are going to do this. They're very vested in you, and they want the best for you. Your friends may try to influence you, and other adults. If you're in a church, or some kind of religious organization, they will influence you. So, and you may, at a certain age, you may have no choice but to participate in certain things because you're not an adult yet and you can't make those decisions. But certainly listen and learn from these people you're around. So, you know, the thing about acting with integrity is it's a lot easier, you know, it's easy to say you're going to follow your morals and follow, you know, and be consistent. But when it comes right down to it, sometimes it's not as easy as it seems. So, you know, obviously, hopefully, you would agree that murder is wrong, and you hopefully would never find yourself in a situation that you would change your mind about that. Or, and so that hopefully is something that most people would be in agreement on and not be wishy-washy about. But sometimes there's things like stealing, and so, you know, you may feel like, oh, it's really bad if I, you know, go out and I break into somebody's house and I steal their car or I steal a big TV or something like that. You can see how bad that would be. But maybe, you know, if you're just with your friends up at the gas station and you steal a candy bar, maybe, you know, is that really bad? So, you know, sometimes it's those different levels of things that people struggle with. And a person who lives with integrity would not see that there's any difference between the big and the little. So, so that's the consistency, is that you don't, you know, you don't change your mind in this situation rather than in that. And especially when you think about doing activities like that, you know, you try to think about the fact that there's a victim regardless. There's somebody on the other side who's going to be hurt physically or going to be hurt financially. I think one of the reasons that people struggle more is that we live in such a society with such large corporations that sometimes we don't know the owners of that gas station. Maybe we don't even know the owner of the company we work for. It just seems like this big, huge company. So, you know, will they really notice if I take home these pens? You know, will they really, or something else, you know, maybe a little bigger than a pen. So it seems so impersonal that we don't feel quite as guilty about maybe doing some of those activities. So again, you know, try not to, we don't want to rationalize these things and say that it's okay. We want to live with integrity and know what our values are, what our morals are, and be consistent with those. But those things, again, that you're not sure about, if someone's pressuring you to do something that you really haven't decided how you feel about it, don't get pressured into it. Hold off. It's better to not do something that you don't know if you agree with or not. And then, you know, maybe you think it's wrong to do as a teenager, but maybe in your 20s or 30s, you may feel more comfortable with it. So you need to do what you feel right for you at that moment in time. And don't be pressured to do something that you don't have a good feeling about how you feel about it. Because you'll never regret not doing something, but you may regret being pressured into doing something. So if you act with integrity and follow, you know, the laws, the rules, your morals, you will build your self-esteem because you can feel like I'm consistent. I can respect myself for being consistent with these things. So this can help to build your self-esteem, and it will also help others to respect you. So if you, within the various religious communities, there's a lot of respect. They may not agree on their religious beliefs, but if they feel like the other person is consistent with their beliefs, lives according to their beliefs, then they will respect that person, and in return, that person will respect them back. And so you will gain other people's respect if you act with integrity. Whereas if you, one week you do this and the next week you do that, no one knows what to expect from you, and so they don't feel like you have any integrity, and you won't gain that respect. But another thing to think about is, are the values, the morals, are these things that you've really thought about and you've really decided that they, you know, are what you believe in? Or are you just taking what's being handed to you by your parents or a religious group or whatever and assuming them for yourself. So, and that's okay to do as you're growing up. There's nothing wrong with being influenced by these people. But being a mature adult means you've really thought about these things and made the decision that, yes, I agree with this and this is how I want to live my life, and not just, kind of, it's easy to just, well, this is what they say, so I'm just going to go along with it. Think for yourself, have your own opinions, and then live by them. So that's integrity, and I wish you well in living a life of it. Thank you.